Welcome to the Empire, the place where dreams come true. Together gotta put fire, we don't have time to lose. Empire, Empire, Empire legacy. Empire, Empire, Empire.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once more to the Empire Legacy broadcast. I am Mr. Imex, and I'm so happy to present once more this show. But today we're gonna have two parts in our show today. So the first part will be the interview, and the second will be the sharing and the debate. But I'm not alone on this platform. I am with a beautiful girl, Miss Destiny. Miss Destiny, how are you?
I'm all right, and you?
I'm fine.
Mesdames et messieurs, chers auditeurs, auditrices, bonjour, merci d'être à l'écoute de la DR Number One. Nous voici encore aujourd'hui pour notre émission à la Empire Legacy. Et bien pour cette émission, nous allons parler avec Monsieur Chris, qui est notre invité. Nous allons l'interviewer, il va nous parler de ce qu'il fait au quotidien. Ensuite, nous allons marquer une petite pause, revenir pour le sharing. Vous l'aurez compris, aujourd'hui, on va apprendre un nouveau mot en anglais. Et ensuite, nous allons commencer avec le topic du jour. Nous allons partager un sujet très important. Nous allons parler du savoir-vivre en société. Mesdames et messieurs, gardez l'écoute. Je vais de ce pas accorder la parole à Monsieur Emex. Emex, la parole est à toi.
Thank you, Mina. So as Mina said, so we are not only both of us on this platform. So we have received a special guest, Mr. Ngoma Chris. So I'm going to give him the floor first to introduce himself before we go to the interview. So Mr. Ngoma, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. Hello guys.
Hello.
I'm Chris Ngoma, well known by the best. The best is my nickname. I'm currently an English training teacher. I teach at the Grand Hotel and also at Vatel International School based on management and tourism. I'm also the coordinator of a great English training center here in Brazzaville called by William Shakespeare Academy, and it's a great opportunity for me to be here today with you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your wonderful, introduction. So here, so we are going deep directly in our, interview of today. So my first question to you, because you say you are a teacher and you work also in a hotel.
Yes.
And you have also an English center
course, yes.
in the hotel, right? So my question is, what is exactly your job in the hotel as a teacher?
Okay, as I have just come to say, and I am an English teacher at the Grand Hotel. Over there has a big hotel. It's prominent or far-reaching for them to have people who are bilingual. Okay, it's very important, especially for the people working at the front office. It's prominent for them to speak not only French but also English, and also the other department of hotel of a given hotel also deserve to have people who speak English. That's why I was called to be there in order to helping people working at the Grand Hotel in order to be able to speak English.
Yeah, very good. I think Miss Desti, do you have a question to our guest?
Not really. I don't have a question, but I'm really interested in what he's saying, so
Yeah.
that's it.
So we are going to the second question. It's very interesting what you do in your hotel, because you say you receive foreigners, people coming from outside who speak English. So that's why it's important for the hotel to have people works there and speak English. So my second question to you is, how long have you been, working in this hotel?
Okay, let's say this is my second year.
Your second year.
Yes.
So how can you explain us a little bit your experience in that hotel?
Okay, let's say at the spring it was not easy. Okay, when I was called there to teach people, because it was like a real meeting of different levels over there. Some of them have a good level in English, but the others are very low. Okay, and it was like a big challenge for me helping all of them to be able to speak English. And it was like I was questioning myself, where am I supposed to start with the training? Okay, because in my room I could have people being able to speak English, and also people are very down in English. And the other problem is was like there, it's like the service obliges you to speak English or to study English, but it doesn't only give you time to work, to go to the training too. There were some of the days you read the room and you are there alone, nobody coming to the class.
Wow.
It was a little bit boring, but I was called to stay positive and doing all my job. So let's say the challenge is very big even now, okay? Because when you receive students today, um, the next meeting you may be there and there is nobody.
Wow.
Yeah. So, what are strategies that you put in order to overcome that challenge?
Firstly, I came to, at the very beginning, I came to understand that people do not really have the desire, even the envy to learn English. And it was like when I was teaching people in English, it was like, okay, I'm not even able to understand what the teacher is saying. So would I be able to speak one day? And I decided to change my way of teaching, and I decided to teach English but in French for the best understanding, especially of beginners. And also there, because the aim is not only to help them being able to speak English, but they need to have a strong vocabulary based on the field. People working at the front office need to have a vocabulary according to them.
Okay.
Okay, people working at the restaurant also need to have a vocabulary according to their need. So it's like the first part, I can deal with conversation, giving them some courses that would help them to be able to speak. But I'm called to strengthen the courses with a specific vocabulary based on the different sectors.
So, I would like to know if it's a must for every workers in the hotel to learn English and speak English.
It's all about the type of hotel you have. For 5 stars hotel, it's, let's say, it's prominent to have people who have to be able to speak English, because especially there you could receive some client or guest coming from English speaking countries, and in order to keep your position or keeping the rank, because we have to see also there is like a competition. Okay, when you receive a client, if today we reach a hotel and the service was not quite good, I think the next opportunity would be given to other people. So to keep the position, it's like you need to be able to satisfy the guest, and then it's very important for them to being able to speak English.
Yeah, very good. So now I would like to know what are, criteria that your hotel requires for people who want to work in the hotel.
Okay, I think truth to be said, I really don't have the criteria of people working there, what is needed, okay, before applying for a given position over there. But I'm quite sure if you really want to keep a position there, speaking English is a key to unlock great opportunities.
It's a compulsory.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So what are the plan of the future of your hotel, of the
where I am
hotel?
working?
Yeah.
Sorry, I am not the head of the
The
hotel
CEO?
or the CEO.
Yeah.
I still don't know, but my aim, I was hired over there in order to train people being able to speak English. That's my mission over there.
So you say also you have an English center.
Yeah,
So people attend the center,
of course, yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So I think we are going step by step at the end of our interview. So it's gonna be the last before one question that I'm going to ask to you.
Okay.
Do you have a message to, you know, to say to the young people or all the people who are listening to you right now?
Okay, thank you very much. It's a prominent question. To all the people out there, I would like just to tell them that they need to have such a huge desire to embrace the opportunities in the domain of, let's say, digital trainings and also foreign languages, because today the way that the world is moving forward, having some skills in digital training and foreign languages is very important. And also what I have to say to people is like, the world has no pity for lazy people, and it's very far reaching for people to stay focused on the cause and working in order to become successful in life. Very important.
Okay, so the last question will be, I think Desti has a question to ask. Yeah, Desti?
Yes, actually, I have a question. This is the last question, of course. You were talking about opportunities. You were saying that young people need to take opportunities, and you took that opportunity to go and work at the hotel. So, how did you find that opportunity? How did you take that opportunity? And what were your fears, and how did you overcome that?
Okay, thank you very much for such an amazing question. You know, I was called by a friend of mine who's now in France, telling me that there was a job opportunity at the Grand Hotel, and if I could afford the time to read the having a job interview. And when I was there, it was like, because I was received by somebody who's good at English.
Wow.
And the lady said, okay, we have to be sure that we not only going to have somebody who's able to speak English, because people who speak English are many out there, but we also need people who's able to transmit the knowledge. Okay, this is very important. And I did all my best during the job interview to respond to all the questions that were put to me, and I think it was through my answers and also maybe by the grace of God that I was taken. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the very last question gonna be, is it possible for people coming from outside to attend your English center?
Yes, of course. Especially the training is quite free of charge. What people need to do is only to pay fees of enrollment, which are not very expensive. Only 5,000 to pay for a training of 3 months. I think it's a great opportunity not to lose.
Okay, thank you for your presence. So we really, learn more about your hotel and what you do in life. So I think we are really at the end of the first part of our show. So I'm going to give the floor to Miss Desti for the...
Mesdames et messieurs, nous voici à la fin de la première partie de notre émission. Et oui, nous avons eu l'opportunité de découvrir le monde de Monsieur Chris Givin Goma, qui nous a parlé de son expérience en tant que professeur d'anglais à l'hôtel de Kintele, mais aussi à la Washington English Center. J'espère que je l'ai bien prononcé, n'est-ce pas?
William
Shakespeare Academy English Center. Alors, nous allons tout de suite marquer une pause pour la publicité et revenir pour la seconde partie. Mais nous tenons à vous informer que Empire Legacy a des clubs d'anglais en ligne chaque mardi, jeudi et samedi de 20h30 à 22h. Vous pouvez nous contacter via le +242 06 463 23 99. Gardez l'écoute, mesdames et messieurs. Nous revenons pour la deuxième partie de notre émission.
Hey mec, où pourrais-je apprendre l'anglais?
L'anglais? Pas de souci. Empire Legacy est là pour répondre à vos besoins.
Ah bon? Mais comment?
À travers des formations professionnelles à domicile, formations en ligne sur WhatsApp, En plus, ils ont un club d'anglais gratuit.
Waouh! Mais comment je fais pour les contacter?
Très simple, appelez-les ou écrivez-les au numéro plus 242 06 463 23 99. Empire Legacy, let's share together.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous revoici pour la deuxième partie de notre émission. Nous allons parler du savoir-vivre en société avec Madame Dyna juste à côté. Elle aura le temps bien sûr de se présenter elle-même. Comme vous avez pu le remarquer, nous avons eu la publicité d'Empire Legacy et nous souhaitons également vous rappeler que Empire Legacy a un centre en ligne chaque mardi, jeudi et samedi de 20h30 à 22h. Pour ceux qui veulent nous contacter, vous pouvez le faire via nos différents réseaux sociaux, Facebook, YouTube par Empire Legacy Association, et vous pouvez également nous contacter via notre numéro de téléphone au plus 242 06 463 23 99. Sans plus tarder, je vais tout de suite remettre la parole à Monsieur Emex.
Thank you, Dusty. So we have received a new guest. So I'm going to give her the floor to introduce herself. So, Miss Dyna.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dyna. So can you introduce yourself, please?
Okay. Hello everyone, I am Dyna Longo-Dusin and I am a teacher in primary school.
Yeah, thank you, Dyna. You are a teacher in primary school, so it's a very, it's a privilege for us to have you this afternoon. So before going any deeper, I'm going first of all to give the floor to Dusty for the sharing. Then we'll go directly to our debate. Dusty, the floor is to you.
Mesdames et messieurs, comme on vous l'avait promis dès le départ, aujourd'hui on va faire quelque chose de spécial. Nous allons apprendre un nouveau mot en anglais. Ça fait longtemps quand même qu'on a appris de nouveaux mots en anglais. Et donc aujourd'hui nous allons apprendre un nouveau mot qui va vous permettre d'enrichir votre vocabulaire en anglais. Alors vous êtes déjà posé la question de savoir comment est-ce qu'on dit une personne, ou comment est-ce qu'on appelle en anglais une personne qui aime étudier, qui est tellement à fond dans ses études. Alors aujourd'hui c'est ce vocabulaire particulier que nous allons apprendre. En anglais, une personne qui aime étudier, qui se donne à fond dans ses études, ça se dit a studious person. A studious person. Alors la traduction en français, ça veut tout simplement dire une personne studieuse, une personne qui aime se étudier et qui se donne à fond dans ses études. Je vais bien évidemment épeler le mot pour vous permettre de l'écrire, mais aussi de l'employer. Je vais prendre un exemple pour cela. Alors studious s'écrit S-T-U-D-I-O-U-S. Je vais encore le dire pour ces personnes qui prennent note. S-T-U-D-I-O-U-S. Studious. Je vais prendre un exemple, comme je vous l'ai promis, pour vous permettre vraiment d'employer votre mot dans votre quotidien. Alors, when I was a student, I was studious. C'est une vérité, je ne mens pas. Merci beaucoup de nous avoir suivis. J'espère que ce nouveau mot que vous avez appris va vraiment vous aider à améliorer votre vocabulaire et à mieux parler la langue anglaise. De ce pas, je vais accorder la parole à Monsieur Emex pour la suite de notre programme. Merci.
Thank you, Miss Dusty. So we are going directly to the topic, our today's topic. So today we are going to talk about knowing how knowing how to live in society. I'm going to repeat. Knowing how to live in society. This is our today's topic. So my first question to you, Miss Dyna, is what is the first idea that comes in your mind when you heard about civic education?
Well, when I'm just hearing about civic education, right? I think about norms in society, how to live in a society, and I am also just thinking about citizenship norms, like how to live in a city and so on. Yeah.
Okay, so the second question, how must people believe in the society or in a given community? So how people are supposed to behave in the society? This is my second question to you.
Okay, how can people live in a society? Like, it's quite a huge lesson, you know. It's not easy. The first thing we need to do when living in a society is to understand that we need to respect each other. Respect is the first thing. And the second thing, I can talk about tolerance, because we need to tolerate certain behaviors coming from the other people. And we also talk about acceptance. We have to accept that the other person is different from me, so we cannot be the same people. I mean, we cannot live in the same way. We cannot have the same culture. Like we cannot share like some style, same values, same foods, and so on. We have to understand that we are different. Accept it.
Yeah, Miss Destiny. So I saw you moving your head. I think you agree. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with what she said, but I would like to add something, because when she was speaking, she said something really important. She talked about norms, and we are just talking about how to behave in a society. She said that we have norms in all societies that exist in the world.
Yeah.
So what we need to do if we want to live, like we want to have a good behavior in the society, we have to respect those norms, because we have people, for example, you say you don't have to kill, they will kill. So that's the reason why I'm saying that we have to, when we live in a society, we have to respect the norms, the laws that are in that society or that country, if you want. So that's what I wanted to add.
Yeah. So why is it so important? Why is it so important to know how to behave in the society? Why? Because you say it's important, but why exactly?
Well, I think that it's actually important to know how to live in a society, because, if we don't know how to live in a society with people, that's going to be difficult to interact and to get along with each other. For example, you can have an issue, but if you know how to talk to the other person, if you respect the other person, if you respect the other person, you will surely know how to talk to that person, and you will not have issues with each other. But if you don't know how to talk to the other person, that's gonna be really difficult for you to get along. Always we fight, That's why today, even when you just see countries, we have fights between countries, we have fights between nations, fighting couples, fights between friends. That's because people don't know how to live in a society. That's it.
So today, nowadays, so what we are seeing in our society, so many youth, especially young people, are misbehaving everywhere. So last afternoon, I watched on TV a news talking about what happened to our young people. So they misbehave in the school, and they mess up everything. So my question to you is it where does come from that behavior from our youth, Congolese youth?
Well, I just think that all these misbehaviors are coming from, I think, it's a question of education first. Yeah, it starts at home with the parents.
Yeah.
And as future parents, we already have to know that the very first responsibility that we have is to well educate our children. And I also talk about the social class issue. When somebody is poor, is tempted to many things, and it's actually difficult for the person to overcome those temptations. I'm telling you, when you are poor, you are tempted to steal, for example, and then you are breaking the rule of the society, that is, don't steal. And when you are poor, because you want to steal, you can just kill the other person. And then you are also breaking another rule of the society. Don't kill. You see? All this is coming from home first. Why am I saying home? Because, we have many, I will talk about types of education. I don't know if types, like the church education, home education, and school one. Street education too. But the most important is home education. The school education is mainly focused on your intellectual things, but the home education is, home is the place where you teach your children values of society.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Desti, do you really think that all those students who are misbehaving in the society, they all miss the home education. Do you agree?
Um,
With me?
I'll say not really, but I'll join our point of view to say that the first education that the children really need is the home education or the family education, because there you learn how to live in the society. But to answer your question, I'll say that there are people that are really well educated at home,
Yeah.
but they meet an environment, for example, the church where, no, I'm not talking about church because we have moral education at church, but for example, in the street or when you go at school, you have a bad environment that can influence your way of doing. So the education at home is really important, but you have to pay attention when you reach a certain age. You have to pay attention to the environment in which you
But sometimes
decide to
can be-
surrender
sorry,
yourself.
Sorry to catch you. Sometimes can be the problem of poverty, as she said, because you are tempted to misbehave because you lack everything.
I think being poor is not really the problem, because we have poor people with good education. Being poor is
Yeah.
not really the problem, because when you know your values, you know the values of the society or the rule of the society. You can be poor but not wanted, like to misbehave. I think, in my point of view, I think what is really destroying young people today is social medias, because when they see what happens in the Western world, for example, or in foreign countries, they try to imitate it. For example, today in Congo we talk about bébé noir. This is something that doesn't exist before we see it on TV with people from DRC. So I think social medias and TV have some bad influence in our young people. That's the reason why they are trying to imitate what people do abroad. So we have to be we have to take some measures about
It's so difficult
about
those
social
last time.
medias.
It's so difficult those last time because so many parents go to work. So both parents, I'm talking about father and mother. They go to the work, and they let their student, their children at school. So I think the school must take the responsibility to educate people as student, because they stay almost all the day at school. So the teacher must also play the role of parents to transmit civic education to to those students.
Well, yes, actually, we need to learn about physical education at school. But as I said, home is the very first place we need to learn about education. And home is the cleanup place. I mean, it cleans street education. It cleans social media education. It cleans the school education sometimes too. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because, at school, they may just teach you sexual education, for example. And you know that I am an African girl, and I know what is all about. When we talk about sex in Africa, we know what is it about as far as girls are concerned.
Yeah.
So
It's
at home, as a mother, you can just say to your child, okay, you've learned this at school, but I don't advise you this because I am your parent. We are Africans. We do this, we do this. You don't do this before marriage and so on. Home is a cleanup place. It is the very first place of education.
I know home is a cleanup place, yeah, but the reality nowadays, life has become very difficult, and our parents, mother and father, both of them go out to work. They don't have time for children at home. Yeah, that's why I'm saying we can say the society, the today's life has changed a lot of people, and they are not able to take care of to educate the student at home because they are all the time at work. It can be one of the cause.
I think that's a great issue. That's a really great issue, because in life we must have priorities.
Yeah.
Even when you have a great job, you must know your priorities. You cannot prioritize your work instead of your family. You can have a work, but you have to know, even though you work like the whole day and you come at home at 6 or 8, you must always have time for your family. That's what she said. Family is the cleanup place, the cleanup space for you, because your children can go at school, receive something that is not in that doesn't go in the same way with your values. And I think what we have really to think about is priorities. We must have priorities in our life. Your work cannot be more important than your children's education. We have to pay attention.
I remember
Yeah.
back in the day, you know, our parents when they were students. I mean, I think when the president Marin Wabi was in power. So I remember our parents were talking, tell us, about the story, how it was happened at school. They were teaching them civic education, and those last time it's like it's disappeared. So what we have to do, the government, to I mean to bring it back at school.
Okay, what should the government do to bring us civic education at school? Well, I just think that that's really difficult, first
Mm-hmm.
because we don't have everything. Like I'm talking about materials for civic education at school, but at least we can still do something, like just build lessons,
Mm-hmm.
put lessons in the program. I mean the syllabus
Mm-hmm.
for the teachers to teach it again at school, like bring the past times back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but actually, it's a huge thing to do.
I,
I'm telling you, education is something great.
yeah, so Desti, I think Desti, she only have something to say about it because I
Always.
like your mind. So, for you, what do we have to do? Do we have to do it like it was happen at a time, or do we have to adapt it to our period?
What do you mean exactly? I don't get the
The,
question.
the education, the civic
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
Back in the time, our parents, when they were going to school, I remember even the way to dress,
Yeah.
the uniform, the way to speak. They teach them how to respect what is for others and all those stuffs. So our parents, it was like something very important. But the last time when students come at school, they don't dress well.
Wow.
They don't respect the teacher.
teachers. That's really
It's
sad.
a big mess,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
what parents, as the educational system and the government,
Can do to change.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. I would like to come back to the last question that you asked, just to know how can we do. I think just as she said, it's really difficult to find the right solution, because the big issue now is that even teachers at school, they don't have that civic education, if I may say so. They are not passionate about what they do. So when they come, they don't even know that they must share something with their student. They just, with that student, or like with their people, they just pupils, sorry, they just come for money. So it's really difficult. The root cause of that is really deep. It's really deep. But what I can say about parents and the whole community is that somebody said, I think it's I just forget the name of the person. When I remember, I will tell you. The person said, be the change you want to see in the world. So if you think that something is wrong, you want it to be different, you start to make that thing different. We are talking about civic education, and we don't appreciate what is happening. We have to be the people that will speak, that we teach our young sisters, our young brothers in our community, like in the place where you live. For example, in your house, if you have a little sister, you can say to her, like, for example, when you work along the street, you cannot like throw something away. You need how do we call it? Something that you can
Put in the trash.
yeah, you can put something in the trash. So we have to start ourselves teaching our young sisters and brothers to do it, and at home also the parents need to do it, because if your children, you teach her to not throw something on the street, she will not do it even when she will be on the street. So that is, we need to be the change ourselves, and that change is going to impact other people, and the change is really going to happen. So that's what I can say.
So hearing both of you speaking, I can understand that even parents are not well educated. Yeah,
That's funny.
people we call parents themselves, they are not well educated. That's why it reflect to their children. It's a big problem,
Yeah.
to bring a solution. So what I think we we have to start first by the parents before going to the children, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think we can only give what we have. For example, if the parent do not have those values that are good for the community, she cannot teach that to the children. So first of all, parents need, what I really complain about Africa is that most of us want to be parent without knowing what it really implies to be a parent. So first of all, we have to learn about our responsibility and about values of the community, rules of the community, so that when we have children, we'll be able to share that values with them. So we, as young people, we are called to be future parents. We need to learn more about values of the community. We need to learn about more about like civic education, so that when we have children, it'll be easier for us to speak and to share those values with our future children, our children to come. I can't wait to be a mother.
Okay, as as we say, last, good things does not last. So only you, Testy. I'm going to keep on with you. So you're gonna give just like a piece of advice to
Yeah.
people who are listening to you, and at the same time give us your last word about this topic.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are talking about civic engagement, and I think that it's really important. But the base of everything is family. When we have a good family, when we live in a good family, we'll have good values, and that values will even impact the community. So, what I can tell to people listening to me is that we need to be role models ourselves for people. If we have good values, we need to share that to people so that those values can influence those people. So let us be the change that we want to see in the world. Also, I would like to say, for people that want to become parents, do not do it just in the sake of having children. Please, first of all, learn how to be a good parent, a role model parent, so that when you be, your children can be good children, can be good citizens in the community. So that's it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Desty. It was very good. I do like your advice. So now we are going to Miss Dyna, your advice and your last word.
Well, I would just say that, civic education is pertinent because we will always have to interact in society. So, civic education starts at home, and we as parents, we have to know that our children are not going to do what we tell them to do, but they will follow our footsteps. So, we need to be well educated ourselves first before they do what we do. That's it.
Okay, good. Very good mind for beautiful ladies. Yeah, I do
An
like.
intelligent one.
Yeah, I confirm. So we are really at the end of our show. So we did talk about how to behave in the society, the civic education. So we had at the beginning Mr. Chris. That we have an interview with Mr. Chris. Then we pass with Madame Desty. Then we end with the topic with Madame Desty and Madame Dyna. So we are really at the end of our show. I'm going to give the floor to Madame Destiny. Destiny, the floor is to you.
Thank you so much, mesdames et messieurs. Comme on a souvent l'habitude de dire, les bonnes choses prennent toujours fin. Eh bien, elles ne durent pas longtemps. Nous voici à la fin de notre émission Empire Legacy. Merci de nous avoir suivis. Nous tenons à rappeler, pour ceux qui n'étaient pas là dès le départ, qu'aujourd'hui nous avons reçu Monsieur Chris Ngoma qui nous a parlé de son expérience en tant qu'enseignant au Grand Hôtel de Kintele. Pour la première partie, nous avons marqué une pause. Ensuite, nous avons appris un mot en anglais, studious, qui signifie studieux, donc une personne qui aime les études, qui se donne à fond pour les études. Et nous avons terminé notre émission avec Madame Dyna juste à côté, qui nous a parlé de l'éducation civique, comment est-ce qu'il faut se comporter en société pour que notre communauté évolue, pour que notre communauté avance en bonté. Mesdames et messieurs, nous voici à la fin de notre émission. Merci beaucoup de nous avoir suivis, de nous avoir accordé de votre précieux temps, nous voulons dire merci à la DR Number One pour son soutien, mais aussi à l'ambassade des États-Unis et au club d'anglais des femmes à l'ambassade iLeak. Merci, chers auditeurs, auditrices, de nous avoir suivis. Nous voici à la fin. Mais ce n'est pas la fin de toute chose. On se revoit la semaine prochaine. Même chaîne, même Empire Legacy, même heure. Bye bye. See you.
Welcome to the Empire, the place where dreams come true. Together gotta put fire, we don't have time to lose. Empire,